Tell all the truth but tell it slant is a poem that lingers in the soul. This poem by Emily Dickinson lingers in my soul because my grandfather was the first person to introduce it to me. He read it to me when I was pretty young, and I didn't really understand just how applicable and realistic it really is. Its message really does apply to real life. And so sometime later he actually sent me the same poem in an email, and I reread it, and I found it to be really, really clever, and just it's really stuck with me ever since. And Emily Dickinson really packs a punch through her sort of short 8 lines, and so the message of this poem is that the truth must be delivered carefully and tactfully, or else it'll be too much to handle. And so I'm only going to deliver this poem a few lines at a time, and then I'll deliver the whole poem at once at the end, but I'm going to take the advice of the speaker of the poem and deliver the truth carefully. The first line of the poem really grabs your attention with a command. Dickinson starts the poem with, "Tell all the truth." This is something we've been told since we were children. It's really ingrained in us. We always need to tell the truth. But that's not really applicable to everyday life. That's what I think makes this poem linger. It's realism. And that fresh twist on a rather black and white idea comes in the second half of the line, "But tell it slant." So essentially the speaker is telling you to tell the truth, but tell it slant. So deliver it carefully and tactfully, and don't just blurt it out. And this really fits with the kind of nuanced emotions of humans and the way that every interaction cannot be done in the black and white. There are shades of gray. It's important not to be mistaken when reading this poem that Dickinson is instructing you to lie at any time. She places a lot of emphasis on truth and in how to tell the truth, but at no point instructs the reader to lie. The next line of the poem goes on to say, "Success in circuit lies." So the way to tell the truth is going about it in a kind of roundabout way and coming to it carefully and gently rather than just stating it outright. This line is kind of a perfect example of what she's instructing you to do. She uses inverted syntax, "success in circuit lies," rather than saying "success lies in circuit," to deliver this line in a roundabout way. So essentially she's doing exactly what she's commanding you to do, which is deliver carefully and tactfully. By saying "success in circuit lies," the line fits with the meter of the poem and fits the rhyme scheme, so it flows much better, and so she's giving you an example of how well her command will work out. It'll sound better and it'll deliver the thought better. So, success in circuit lies. The poem continues with an explanation as to why blunt truths are a bad idea. "Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise." Dickinson includes the personal pronoun our, which includes the speaker, the reader, and the entire human race. So she really draws you in. The word infirm really sums up why we can't just blurt out the truth. Because humans can't handle it. It's too much. We are infirm. We're too weak to just hear it right out. And in many cases that's very truthful. So the rhyme scheme comes to light here as lies rhymes with surprise, so every other line rhymes. And this rhyming, along with the set meter, gives this poem a very musical quality, which makes it linger even more. So next we come to what I think is sort of the trickiest line, "As lightning to the children eased." And this line is sort of tricky to me because at first I questioned, how on earth could lightning put children at ease? That doesn't really make any sense. So this line really is a pair with the one that comes after it, with explanation kind. So like lightning to the children eased with explanation kind. And this really makes sense now because you understand that the lightning is explained to the children, and if it's explained gently and carefully, they're no longer afraid of it because they can understand it. And this is a larger simile for the truth. Like lightning, the truth, if sudden and delivered without warning, can be scary. And but if explained gently and carefully, with tact, then it's no longer scary and you can be comfortable. And so this larger simile helps to explain why saying the truth in a careful way is important. The last two lines of this poem are, "The truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind." So the most important word here, I think, is dazzle, because the dictionary definition of dazzle is to temporarily blind. So here Dickinson is saying the truth must be delivered carefully or tactfully, or temporarily blind, or else it will completely blind. If you just blurt it out, it will stun the person who's having to hear the truth. So they have to have time to absorb it, time for it to sink in. The poem ends with a dash, which is another part of Dickinson's style. She uses it throughout many of her poems, and she's using her command in practice once again, as she's done in this poem. She just told us to deliver it gently and calmly, so as to let the listener absorb it, and then she leaves this poem with a dash, which allows the reader to kind of absorb the poem and kind of think about it without it ending harshly with a period. Not only is this poem personal for me, but its artful and clever wording really make it stick for many people. Its message isn't an ideal to strive for, but a realistic message that the reader can actually use. The truth is hurtful sometimes, and it needs to be delivered tactfully and carefully, and should have thought put into how it's worded. And I think that this can be used in everyday life, and so that's why this poem really lingers in my soul. So now I'm gonna give you the whole poem, or the whole truth, and you can take it as you will. Tell all the truth, but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children eased with explanation kind, the truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind.